I think we're here. And hey, we are here. TGIF Friday. This is a fantastic weekend. There are so many events happening. There's a lot of communions happening, a lot of graduations happening, and there's Mother's Day happening. And with that, I just want to say, hey, Laura, how you doing?
I'm doing great. This is one of my favorite times of the year, not only because of the communions and the graduations, but proms have just been done and like I said, the graduations, but also my favorite time of year is because of the Blessed Mother. This is the month of Mary,
Yep.
and the Blessed Mother plays a big role in my heart. So I just want to do a shout out to that. We are going to talk about something very, very serious today. And the reason why I say serious is because I'm one of these women. And, this is a really, really the big thing in the United States and around the country and around the world. The early signs and symptoms of diabetes that you can't, you got to find, and it is amazing what the early signs are and that we don't even think about, just
Right.
think might be happening to us. Nearly a quarter of Americans with diabetes go undiagnosed, Debbie. And
Wow.
are you one of them? You don't have diabetes, do you?
I don't. I don't.
Was it big in your family?
Actually, my Aunt Helen did have diabetes, and that was all that I know of. Okay, so, and I know it can be hereditary, but I also know it can not be too. I mean,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's true. Somebody could be really in great shape and not even know they're a diabetic,
right.
and then you could have it. In my family, it's huge, so most likely you're going to have diabetes, especially if you have a weight issue. There's one of the biggest things is, well, first of all, to find out that you have a high blood sugar is this is a test. It's called an A1C. And what it does, it goes in for like 3 months of your blood sugars. And I don't know how it does it, but and it gives it an average range of
Mhm.
what your blood sugar is. And you get that with a regular blood test with your doctor. I mean, it's very easy. I get it all the time. Like I get it every 3 months. And a good A1C could be anywhere from 5.0. And then anything that's really high could be like 11. And, how it goes is like an average blood sugar is anywhere from 80 to 110. And then anything over 110, this is blood sugar that you have been fasting for at least 8 to 12 hours. But then when you eat, it goes up, and they recommend that it goes no higher than 180 during the day while you're eating. And then it goes down at night. So, with that, W, you have anything to talk about? What are the big things with diabetes? What are the
Well, you know what? I was gonna say, I think that one of the things I wanted to say about the risk factors and stuff.
yeah.
Okay, like I mean, some parts of the cholesterol, the high blood pressure, ovary syndrome is another thing I'm looking on here. So that I think the biggest thing I want to communicate is that people really, really need to be on top of checking. Okay, we've said this probably 100 times, and I remember being in a seminar one time. If you haven't heard it 100 times, you haven't heard it enough, because you have to be proactive, and you need to be going out there and getting your annual physicals and getting your annual blood work. You can't take it for granted that you're okay, because I know people that have children who have child diabetic stuff going on, and they were born that way, or they may have developed it and they were never heavy people. So I know there's a lot of people that think, oh, well, I'm thin, or I'm this, or I'm active, or I'm that. No, you know what? You have to have that done. Just a quick little side note that my husband had pre-diabetic like readings like on his blood work. So we were real good about going every time, and we're supposed to annually. And he turned around a few things and he did lower it, but at that point where he's really got to keep his eyeball on it. He's got to be more conscious, and it's hard. It's very hard. It's easier said than done. So, back to you, Laura.
Yeah, you're kind of predestined. You can be predestined to have it if somebody in the family has it, or if you have any of these things, if you have a body mass that's higher than 25, that's your BMI. Okay. If you have high blood pressure, there's a possibility that you could have diabetes also. Your cholesterol, like your high triglycerides, that's a huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to pronounce that word, but like an ovary syndrome for women, like cystic was that just cystic ovary syndrome?
Yeah, something in that department, right?
Right. If some racial groups, African American, Latinos, Americans, Indians, Pacific Islanders, and Asian Americans, because of the way we eat. But, they're like Debbie's talking about, there's pre-diabetics. Some of us women have what they call diabetes when they're pregnant with their children.
Gestational, yes.
Gestational diabetes. Every time I had my children, I was very close to it. And when you have it, when you're pregnant, they say most likely you're going to have diabetes when you get older. And usually people that have bigger babies. My last child was 11 pounds, 7.5 ounces. No, I did not deliver him normal. I delivered him by C-section. But I had all these problems that we're talking about on this list, the high BMI. In fact, I'm supposed to have knee surgery, and they will not perform my knee surgery unless my BMI is under 40. So, all this stuff causes a lot of problems in your life. I have lived with high blood sugar since the age of 40. When I was diagnosed, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be real honest with you, I just pretty much ignored the doctor. I thought, well, I'm going to get old. I'm going to beat this. I don't going to just try to eat a little better or whatever. And I didn't realize what it was going to do to me, and because the doctor did say, with exercising and eating better, you could beat this.
Yeah.
So, I went on a little bit of a diet and it got a little better. And I just totally ignored it. I mean, to the point where my blood sugar, my A1C was like 12. And the doctor said to me, do you know that you have a blood sugar A1C of 12? Do you know what that could do to you? And then I looked up all the stuff and I still didn't do anything. Then I got to be in my 50s and I still wasn't doing anything because at that time I didn't go to the doctor. It was about my kids. I put myself on the side. And all of a sudden I started having problems with my health. I had problems where I was bloating and lots of water retention. I was having problems falling. I was having problems with all kinds of things were going on. And having cuts that weren't really healing that well. And so finally I got to the point where, I ended up having multiple sclerosis too, but it didn't help with the diabetes. So finally I ended up having to quit work because I had so many problems because I didn't take care of myself and I had to go on disability. And anybody that knows me knows that it was a hard thing for me to do, but I had to do it. And then that's when I took control of my health. I went to one doctor, went in there, and I said to her, you better help me. I'm not leaving this room, this office, until you figure out what's wrong with me. And she said, Lori, you have one of the highest blood sugars I've ever seen. And she said, we'll start with that because that is the overall of the health is your diabetes. So Debbie, you want to talk on that a little bit?
I do want to talk on that. I want to say that I'm proud of you for opening up again in this subject to tell people what you've gone through. And I know, unfortunately, there was times you didn't. But what I'm so excited about is that, and I want this message to be communicated out to everyone, that it's not too late to take a handle on it. You know,
Right.
it's not too late to get yourself, you know, yeah, if you've had damage, you might not be able to repair, but you can actually reverse some things, not everything, but some things, and you can actually get better and be the best version of yourself at the age you are. And we're talking to everyone. We're not talking to like just our category of ages in the 60s. We're talking about everybody. We're talking about being younger, being older. I think a lot more people are really being more conscious these days and thinking about like what they're eating and what they're doing. And, you know, can I take, it's kind of funny. Mariano had to do this thing where it was like, okay, healthy choices. Should I eat the candy bar or should I eat the apple? And he was doing this like chart thing that he was writing for karate, actually, for this discipline thing. And he's like, Mimi, what's some good ideas? What's some good healthy snacks? You know, and we were going through the whole thing. And I think that we all have to, are we all going to make like bad choices and things that we're doing? Oh yeah, we're going to. You have to like give yourself some, but I think if we can like recognize, and I feel like Lori, with what you're going through and what you're talking about in this subject, I hope that there's people that if you're not a person that this is really talking to you, but if you know someone else that you truly love and care about, maybe you can feel confident enough to say either watch this, okay, because maybe you don't want to say, hey, I think this could be you, because then people put up a wall and they're like, oh my God, leave me alone, I'm fine. And you know, a lot of times it's our parents or our siblings, and we say, hey, I'm worried about you, I'm concerned about you. But I mean, I'm just really glad that like we can have some of these subjects exposed, because, you know, there's a lot of people that need to hear this, and maybe they were in denial. Like you were doing, Lori, you were saying, you were not like, you're like, oh yeah, you know, or, oh yeah, you know, and I mean, and I have a couple family members that are in denial of a few things, and it's not this, like, and I'm trying to work with them on a certain things, and it happens to do with food and different things. And I'm telling you, if we could, you know, seek out the right medical assistance or nutritional assistance, we could definitely be better. You know, we can make ourselves better. You know, myself included, we all can do better. You know, we always can.
Right. You know,
But wait, one more thing I just want to say, but don't beat yourself up. Just put it aside and say, today's the first day. Don't go, oh my God, on Monday is going to be the day. Today's Thursday or Tuesday. I'll wait till next Monday. No, that's the stupidest thing ever. Just say, I'm going to start getting a better handle on my health today, not, you know, tomorrow or when it's too late and I'm really having a problem. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Laura. Sorry.
oh no, I'm sorry that I interrupt you.
Oh, yeah.
Here's some of the things that are kind of, you know, things that signs that you are might be a diabetic. Frequent urination, okay? Like I said, I've dealt with all this stuff, so I know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure a lot of people are know what I'm talking about. It's to the point where you're going to the bathroom all the time and you don't know why you're going to the bathroom. You're not drinking anymore, so it's not like you're drinking more water and you're going to the bathroom. You're just going to the bathroom all the time. And then because you have that, you have increased thirst, and you just, nothing satisfies you. It's not like, again, it's different than just drinking water, okay?
Right.
And dehydration, well, you know, sometimes I've never really experienced that as far as that, but our weight loss, yeah, I'd like to lose weight when I'm on it, but you know, the only way you really lose weight when you're diabetic is you got to watch your carbs and really watch what you eat with your sugars and your fruits and stuff. That's something that you have to look into. And fatigue is huge, because what happens is, and I was watching something this morning, is your blood sugar, your sugar in your body goes into your blood, and it does not filter, okay, through your kidneys. And so your body overworks to compensate that sugar in your blood. So you become fatigued. And so that's what happens with diabetics. And their bodies are not fueling their energy properly because of where the sugar is going.
Hmm.
Once you take the insulin, your body then knows to burn that energy properly. And I didn't learn this stuff right away. I think maybe if I would have learned it more and did more studying about it, I would have been better about it. Because nobody wants to live with no energy. I don't know about you, Debbie.
Right.
Having no energy is no fun. That's probably why they sell so many energy drinks.
Which are not healthy. Think about it.
Right. So you want to go on to any of the other ones, Deb?
Yeah, like, and also I think people, don't you feel like you have that hunger too? A lot of hunger is another thing that I hear about. I hear about people, and I also hear about people with like a lot of neuropathy, you know, and that's uncomfortable because you just can't get comfortable, and you got the burning and the numbness and the pain and all that kind of stuff. Um, and also slow, like you were talking about slow healing, like with cuts and stuff, it's crazy,
And that's,
um,
oh, I didn't mean to interrupt, but can I just say something real quick?
yeah, go, yeah.
The cut thing, the healing is really bad because especially if you get on your foot and your leg and you don't heal, you could get gangrene. And that's how a lot of people end up having their bodies amputated, their limbs amputated. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just,
No, it's I'll tell you what, I've seen and heard that. I also want to just kind of do a little twist on here for a second, if you don't mind sharing. I mean, insulin is expensive, okay? And unfortunately, with our healthcare system, it seems to me that like a lot of people are having to pay more than they should, which is horrible. I mean, what's your take on that?
well, the way my insurance is, I'm pretty much covered because I'm a disability. But yeah,
Hmm.
it really is high. If I did have to pay for it, one of my insulins is like $1,000 a month.
Oh,
And a lot of the medications now, you guys are going to find out that are not covered by insurance because they're newer medications. They
yeah.
are so expensive. If I had to calculate the amount of medications I have to take now, it's probably about $3,500 a month. Fortunately, because of my disability, I don't have to pay for it. But if I did, I couldn't have it. You
Hmm.
know, and so that's where Debbie's talking about taking care of your body. You don't really realize, if I could go back one more day and just do the right things, I would do it. I mean, we all don't know what our futures are with our health and everything, but why not do the best we can?
Hmm.
Like Debbie said, there's people out there, and I know them, young people, I know them personally, and
Hmm.
they have it in their genetics, and
Right.
out there, they're out there working really hard because they don't want to do what their parents did. They've told me, they said, no, we're doing all this because we know we're going to get the same things, but we don't want to live the way our parents are living now.
Right.
Well, yeah, with that, Deb, you could go on. Anything else?
Yeah. Yeah. So, like with the treating thing, I think that's how I was kind of going into it, that, there is no cure, but if you do lifestyle changes and if you're, certain medications, you can manage it better and put it almost into what they're saying a remission, so per se. But there are people that I do know, like we just kind of keep touching on back and forth about that, are genetically have it. So it is a genetic, it's like it's kind of hard because there are different, like Lori was talking about, the different, I don't understand all the different like terminologies because there's the different ones. So the biggest thing I think that we have to say is that if you suspect anything, now remember everything we've been talking about lately, if you've been following us, there's a lot of symptoms that cross over. It's
Right.
unfortunate, but they do. And so I guess my biggest message is here, don't go to WebMD, okay? And don't try to self-diagnose yourself and
Right.
think like, my goodness, I'm having this happening. Oh, I must have this. I heard those girls talking about that. No, we're just trying to bring things out to people and say, listen, this is, if you're experiencing things that we've been touching on, and even if it's stuff we haven't touched on and you're experiencing, do not ignore it. You just heard Lori talk about that. Don't ignore it, and get yourself into the right doctor. And if you don't have a doctor that you feel comfortable with, or a nutritionist, or so on and so forth, I mean, we'll find them for you. We'll help you, find good ones in our area, at least we know of, and we can network out. That's what this whole group is about, for the health and wellness of you, to help you on your journey of being a better person and being, or your journey of helping people. Lori and I are both also in the category of having older parents now. Like my parents are both gone, but Lori's mom's still living and my in-laws are living. And, we all have to have a big handle on making sure that our family members that are aging, and we're maybe the support system, that we got to be on top of them and ask them, how's it going when you went to the doctor? Did you guys talk about this stuff? Are you, everything looking good on your blood work? Because they may not tell you, and maybe they could be prompted to do something that they're not. A lot of older people, I'm taking this from experience just recently, are very thinking of the old school doctors. The old school doctors did everything. They were one package. So they went into the same nurse, the same receptionist, the same doctor all the time. Well, now they have to go to different people. They only go to their PCP. And I hear this complaint all the time. Well, they're sending me to someone else for a specialist. I asked them a question and they won't talk about that. And it's really difficult for them. So what can happen is, some of these people in this category may not pursue it because, oh, I went to my PCP. Okay, whatever. He told me to go to another doctor and I just don't want to go. So we all have to advocate for the aging population older than us that we're close to, if that makes sense, if it's kind of a message. Because I'm learning this a little bit without getting too, open about it so that I don't hurt anybody's feelings. But I'm just saying there's like family members, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You got to be really careful too, because there's a lot of doctors out there that don't know what they're doing. I've kind of experienced that this week, but it's just, you got to do your little bit of a homework, go back and save some of these people's grades of what they've gotten, because this is important. It took me a long time to get the team that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got to see other doctors. I got to be really careful about what I pick. So with that, Debbie, what an exciting day for all of us.
Yep.
What exciting weekend for all of us. You have Mariano's communion and Vanessa's graduation with her master's.
Yep, be fun. Yep. And Mother's Day that you get to celebrate and I get to celebrate, and just crazy. It's fun.
You know what? This is to all the mothers. God bless all of you, and happy Mother's Day to the grandmothers, the mothers to be, the new mothers, and all our mothers up in heaven.
Yep.
You guys, Deb, you want to close this out?
Sure. I just want to say that we're just feeling so blessed. This is a great day for us to be able to talk about this, and really, you guys, all the stuff that we talk about, we really want you guys to know that it's coming from our heart. But all the information that we give is just stuff that we learn and read. So we're not claiming to know everything. That's for sure. Seek the right, seek some help and everything. And with that, I just want to say, everybody, again, like Lori said, thank you so much. And please support and send this out. Share us, and enjoy your weekend, no matter what you're doing. If you're not able to be with a mother, find somebody that you maybe know that you could bless with maybe some flowers, or do something kind for them in lieu of. If your mother's not here, find somebody else's to just bless their day and feel good about it. Okay, you guys? All right. Have a great day. We love you all. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye.